Hello and welcome to the DX Corner for your weekly dose of DX as part of Ham Radio's oldest ham radio magazine on the air, This Week in Amateur Radio. I'm Bill, AJ8B. If you've been with me for the past several weeks, you know that I'm trying to focus on those entities that will be available in the next week. There's so much data to sift through that I thought a focus on the next 7 days might be helpful. The following information comes from Bernie, W3UR, editor of the DailyDX, the WeeklyDX, and the How's DX column in QST. If you would like a free 2-week trial of the DailyDX, your only source of real-time DX information, just drop me a note at thedxmentor@gmail.com and I'll make sure it happens. So here's what should be on in the coming week. An activation in Botswana by Luke, ZS6LUK, is underway. He should be QRV now as A25LUK through the end of April. He will be using an IC706 so he can be on 40, 30, 20, and 10 meters. He will be using sideband plus FT8. Some of his planned destinations are registered parks in the Parks on the Air or the POTA program. He will put his logs on QRZ.com. 3 Delta 2 Bravo Papa is the new call sign for KD6XU Barry in Fiji. He is on 80 through 10 meters, mostly CW, but some FT8. His operating hours are sporadic, in his words, kind of a hit or miss kind of a thing, end quote. He has an ICOM IC7300 and a Yaesu FT891. He plans to do some POTA activations like he did in Samoa, but this time he has the FT891, so it will not all be QRP-CW. Most of Barry's operations will be from land, but occasionally he may be on his yacht if a beach is not available in the park he is in or he's near. QSL using LOTW, as paper QSLs are not an option. And if you need and work Barry for a needed band slot or an all-time new one, make sure he's on the island and not on his boat, otherwise it won't count. In February, Papa Charlie 4 Kilo, David, a missionary engineer, relocated to Manzini, Eswatini. He has been issued the call sign 3 Delta Alpha 0 Papa Alpha and will be active with an ICOM IC705 at 10 watts and a Soda Beams inverted V dipole for 40 and 20 meters, which is also tunable on other bands, so make sure you check. He has signed up for an LOTW account, so I would assume that's why he wants to QSL that way. VK4 MAP, Darren, has been QRV since April 8th as H44DX on 10 meter sideband, roughly around 28,460 to 28,465. He will be portable from Malaysia Island during this time, QSL to his home call of VK4 MAP. ROLAND F8 Echo November has extended his TR8CR operation from Gabon through mid-June. He is on CW only, and you can QSL via the Bureau or direct to F6AJA. OH3 KAV Ari will be active as OH0KA from Kokar, Aland Islands through April 22nd, mostly FT8 and CW on HF, including 5 MHz and possibly 6 meters. You can QSL that via OH3 KAV. Members of the Bavarian Contest Club are currently QRV from VP2V, the British Virgin Islands, and will continue to do so through April 27th. They will go QRT at 1200 Zulu and take down the antennas, departing early on the 28th. They'll be shipping back 2 oversized packages by UPS, their aluminum and fiberglass masts, 2 spider beams, a DX commander, and a 6-meter antenna. And I'll tell you, if you haven't worked these guys, you're not trying, because they have been everywhere in every mode. Well done. VP8DX is setting up Hotel Delta 8 George on the Galapagos Islands until April 26th to be satellite and HF, with one of the stations doing, quote, some CW. This expedition has been in a year in planning with meetings every 2 weeks. Various ops have had to cancel, but others have joined over time. There are now 25 passionate operators from 7 countries. Quote, getting by language and cultural differences has been a primary objective to come up with one great DXpedition, unforgettable for all the ham community, end quote. The 7 countries represented are Ecuador, Brazil, the United States, Russia, Latvia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Serbia. Most are experienced DXers and DXpeditioners, but some are brand new. There will be 8 full-time positions and a 9th on in night times only. DX News is reporting that X-Ray Uniform 7 Oscar is being run by Delta Lima 7 Bravo Oscar in Cambodia, and it's scheduled to start today, which would have been Thursday of this week, operating on the HF bands. QSL using LOTW or club log or direct to DL4WK. I have an update on operations from C5, the Gambia. F5RAV has the C5 Lima Tango call sign, and YT3 Papa Lima has the C5R call sign. They also have IK8HJC with them from April 19th to May 2nd. Their modes will be CW sideband and FT8, FT4, and they'll be on HF, 6 meters, and satellite. QSL C5LT direct to F5RAV and C5R to YU5R. The logs will also be uploaded to ClubLog. Taki, JG8NQJ/JD1, is going back to the weather station at Minami Torishima to stay for, quote, a couple of months, and he should be QRV by now. He operates in his spare time there, CW and FT8. So you can QSL that via directly to JA8CJY or via LOTW. WA7RAR has activated PJ4CB on Bonaire until April 27th using CW and sideband on 20 through 10 meters and sometimes from parks on the air. And you can QSL him directly at his home QTH or LOTW and QRZ logbook. Itchy J87IPR is QRV from T88UW in Palau until 9 p.m. local time on April 23rd. He will be monitoring 50.313 and will get on the air there for when he starts to see openings. And I'll tell you, Palau on 6 meters would be huge. Fox Golf Stroke Delta Golf 3 Fox Echo Hound should be QRV from Puente La Gorda, Guadalupe until April 27th. Holger will have an IC 7300 and 100 watts to a full-size ground plane for 20 and 15. On 40, it's an end-fed half-weight. He plans to use sideband and FT8, and you can QSL Holger through the Bureau, LOTW, or ClubLog. VP9KF is QRV until April 28th by Paul, G4BKI. He plans to be on HFCW only. Apparently, he does not plan to QSL through LOTW or ClubLog OQRS, so how to actually QSL with him is unknown at this point, but it may be giving on his VP9KF.com website. Apparently, the only CW from VP9 outside of, quote, contest visitors has been VK9KD Walt, who unfortunately became a silent key 3 weeks ago. So you'll have to listen. If you hear Bermuda on CW, you probably ought to work them. The most recent DX Mentor podcast episode is available this weekend. Alex, K6VHF, was the guest. Alex talked about everything from the world records that he holds to his work with SETI, his Deep Space Exploration Society work, his DX and DXpedition activities, as well as his participation in the bouncing of signals off of Venus. I found that really fascinating. Give it a listen. You can also check out the DX Mentor Facebook page to keep tabs on what is current and what is coming. I know that the ARRL contest sheet is read elsewhere, and the contests that I mentioned are sometimes redundant. However, there are a few contests that I have found to be especially useful for DXers who are trying to fill band slots or to get entities or zones in the log that may otherwise be difficult to get. The Worldwide Holy Land DX Contest, or the WWHC, is being held this weekend. Before 2023, it was called the Holy Land Contest. The new name again is the Worldwide Holy Land DX Contest. Everyone works everyone all over the world with QSOs with Israeli stations counting for more points, and that would be any 4X or 4Z station. It runs until April 19th at 2100 Zulu. So again, you're probably partway through it, but if you need them on 40 or 80 meters, that's the place to do it, is this weekend. Until next week, this is Bill, AJ8B, saying 7-3, and thanks to my ex-whale Karen for her love and support. I hope to hear you in the pile-ups. Have a great DX week.